Okay guys, today we're going to talk about the basic kinds of traps you'll find out in the modern trap line. For starters, we have two body gripping traps. This is what it's going to look like set. It's going to have a spring on each side, or in the case of the 110, a spring on one side. It's got safeties, and then your tag and your trigger. Pretty much when the animal goes in here, the trap snaps shut like a giant mouse trap to this, crushing their body, and it's supposed to be an instant humane death. The next big category of traps is foothold traps. They come in many different sizes, from small traps for things like muskrats and stuff like that, a little bit larger for muskrat, raccoon, and then all the way up to your really large ones for beavers with the big back feet, or coyote and stuff along those lines. These guys, you would pretty much chain it to the ground. You have your two main types, your coil spring and your long spring. They both do the same task of closing the trap. They're gonna squeeze down to allow the trap to open. And then once the trap's open, you have your pan and your dog. The dog is what goes into your pan to hold it there, so then the animal comes and steps on the pan, releasing the jaws, grabbing the foot. Another variation of the foothold trap is the dog-proof trap. This is made primarily for raccoons because for the animal to get it, it has to reach all the way down in there to pull the trigger. Like a dog or something like that, if you're setting this near houses or stuff, isn't going to be able to get down in there with their mouth and isn't going to reach down. To get the trap to go off, it doesn't take the downward pressure of, let's say, if your dog is really small and did get its foot in there, the raccoon actually has to grab the trigger inside, and you can see right there, it has to pull up on it to make this come down, then release this dog. So you can pack this with whatever you want, get some stuff nice down there under the trigger, and the raccoon's gonna reach down in and pull it up. The next big series of traps is your have-a-heart or cage trap. Pretty much how these work is it has a trap door on either one or both ends and a trigger in the back. When it's set, it sits open like this with bait on or behind the trigger, and the animal comes in putting pressure on it, closing the spring-loaded door, which usually has some sort of locking mechanism so it can't be pushed open from the inside. These traps come in small sizes like this or even smaller, all the way up to big 5-foot traps for things like coyote. The last kind of trap we're going to talk about is a colony trap. This right here is pretty much your standard bait minnow trap, but it works the same way. You would close it together and have a fully enclosed thing that's going to have a cone in it. This is used primarily in water trapping for muskrats. They'll swim in, and once they get into the back and they can't get out, they're going to try and swim along the bottom or wrong sides to get out, not realizing that the hole is raised into the middle and thus be trapped. They're also set on pockets and other sorts of places, like on floats, where the muskrat will then fall in and not be able to get back up and out. And that right there pretty much covers the common kinds of traps you're going to find out today.